Right, so we are here with Yvonne and Dolly Pemberton.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tell us, Dolly, about your shop. What's it called? Where is it? What do you sell?
The shop is Dolly Daydreams Vintage Clothing. I'm in Newton Stewart and I sell vintage and new reproduction vintage style clothing and accessories, including handbags, jewellery and little vintage items that I may pick up.
Okay, well, we'll do a tour
Mm-hmm.
in a minute because Yvonne's already got her eye on some
Beautiful
items.
things.
So we'll do a tour around the shop in a minute. So we need to know a little bit more about your business. What's the era of the vintage?
The era of the vintage, I have had things as early as the 1930s, although I have to say that era is very difficult to get. They're usually very expensive.
Really?
Yes, very delicate and very small sizes. I mean, quite often a 1930s dress could be something like a 28 chest. Now, most ladies these days,
Wow.
their waists are much bigger than that. So I've had odd ones in and I have sold them, but I tend to not buy too much of that era because it's difficult to get, very expensive, and they're so small. I've found that 40s, 50s and 60s are probably the most popular, and I'd say probably the 50s is the most popular.
Okay.
It's my favourite era as well. I love clothes, particularly from the mid-50s to the mid-1960s.
What is it about it, Dolly, that you like?
That era, I think it's so incredibly feminine. The clothes are very fitted, and lots of ladies say to me, well, you look good in that, but it wouldn't suit me. I'm too big on the hips, or I've got big thighs. And I look at them and they're wearing tight leggings, and I'm thinking, well, how do you think that looks better? And at the weekend, for instance, I was actually at a party, and it was a 1950s themed party. Now, my friends having the party were both just 60. And so the age group there was really from people in their late 40s into their 70s. And everybody, the men and the ladies, came dressed up in 50s style clothing. And everybody looked so fantastic. They looked glamorous. They looked elegant. And ladies of all shapes and sizes, whether they were short, tall, fat, thin, they looked like they had fabulous hourglass figures. And that's what these clothes do for you.
So the clothes did the work.
Yes.
The clothes
yes.
did the shaping
They
for
do,
you.
they do. And actually the fact that people can buy clothing today which is very comfortable and very loose enables them to put on more weight.
That's right.
People were much slimmer then, but if you tend to wear fitted clothes, you tend not to put on weight because you can feel your clothes getting tighter and you know that you're eating too much.
So your clothes can be your conscience.
Yes, that's right.
Keep us disciplined.
You were telling us earlier that you do clothes parties.
Yes,
So somebody could come along and they could book your shop.
yes.
So
Yes.
tell us about that. How would somebody come along and book a clothes party with you?
Well, currently I'm just open 2 days a week at the moment because I have other jobs.
What days
So,
are you open to?
yeah, What's
I'm
your
actually
hours?
open on from 10 o'clock till 3:30, Mondays and Wednesdays. I've picked Mondays in particular because for some people working, Mondays can be a day off, such as hairdressers, etc.
Okay.
Also bank holidays fall on Mondays. And yes, so if people want to book a party, I have a website which they can do it through my website. There's an email address, there's contact phone numbers. They can phone me or they can get in touch with me through Facebook. I prefer to do it for numbers of between 3 to 8 people, but I would consider taking less or taking more. And sometimes if it's a local lady from Newton Stewart that will phone me and say, oh, you know, I can't get in and I've seen a dress that I love, can I come in sometime and try it on? You know, I'll do that. And
that's by appointment.
Yes, yes. So I will come in other times, you know, for instance, you know, this week I will be in here, you know, sort of Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening with a group of ladies coming in to have a party. And sometimes, you know, they'll bring, you know, a bottle of wine or something and have a glass of wine to drink, and then try on clothes together. They will have great fun. When it's your friends, you tell each other the truth about whether something looks good on you or not, so that they, you know. And also people find things for each other. Sometimes you don't see something, but your friend may pick it up for you. So yes, it's fun and it works. And then after they're leaving here, they'll go close by to a little Italian bistro, have something to eat. So it's like a fun girls' day out, really.
That's really nice.
So do they have to pay to come and use your facility then, Dolly?
No, I mean, I think some shops will do that, but I think the fact that they're coming along to buy things, so no, I'm not going to charge a fee.
So there's no minimum fee?
No.
So that's a lovely service that you provide for local ladies, but also ladies wider.
Yes.
So all of our local contacts, that's a great facility to use.
Yes.
So that could be for ladies who lunch. That could be for
absolutely
for hen nights.
Yes.
For for just girlfriends who are looking to get together.
I've had people do it because it's a birthday party as well, and they fancy doing something different. So rather than just going locally for a meal, sometimes, you know, they've had a meal, invited me along too, and then we've all come back into the shop afterwards and, you know, spent the evening, you know, trying on things. And they've loved it. It's been great fun, and I love doing it too. It's great fun for me.
But also I've looked around some of your stock, and this is actually a great venue to come for something that is completely unique.
Yes.
That you will not find in the chain stores. And so it's a great venue to come if you're looking for something that sets you apart from everybody else.
Yeah.
And so I'm quite sure that Dolly would be able to provide a service that could be tailor-made to you.
Yes.
And your personality for the occasion that you're going to. So if you've got a special occasion, why not think about planning ahead and coming, because Dolly's stock is a wide variety of textures and fabrics and colours. And I think you could get something for every occasion in here.
Yes, and as well as having lots of real vintage, there's lots of very new reproduction clothing. My sizes go from a size 6 to 22. But even in the reproduction clothing, I tend to generally buy, sometimes I may have two things, but generally I try to buy single items so that, you know, you are getting something unique. You're not going to walk down the street and see someone else wearing the same thing. And a lot of my reproduction clothing comes from America as well, so you're not going to find that locally.
And I think the key is as well, Dolly, is you maybe see something hanging on the hanger and you don't think that it's going to look great on you, but the key is to try it on, isn't it?
Absolutely, because things can look very different when you've tried on, and that's actually part of my service as well. Sometimes people will come in and, you know, and they'll perhaps pick up 2 or 3 dresses. They'll take them in the changing room, and I suppose I see what they're taking in, and sometimes I think that's okay, but I think there's something better here for you, and I will go along and say, whilst you're in there and you've got your clothes off anyway, would you care to try these on? And they usually pick what I've given to them, and said to me, do you know, I wouldn't have put that on, I wouldn't have looked at that, I've seen it, but it's fantastic. And so I think sometimes I can see what suits people.
So a personal service as well as a personal shopper.
Yes.
Which is really good, very handy.
And tying everything in, so you've actually got a one-stop shop here.
Yes.
You really have. You've got a real bespoke service for Newton Stewart.
Yes.
Such a small little place, but such a great service.
Yes. Well, I like to think so.
It is. It's top quality, and who would have known that, you know, a vintage service could offer such high class. And you're such a high class lady anyway.
Oh,
very
thank
polished
you.
Polished and well groomed, and every time I see you, you're immaculate. And your shop and your store is just such a high class boutique feel.
On
Beautiful.
that note, why don't we cut it here, and then we can take a right good tour around the shop and have a look at all the
Excellent.
goodies in here. So just 2 seconds.